Bonjour classe de français 4 et 5. For this week's video, it's mostly geared towards the green group who's not going to be in class on Wednesday. If you're in the blue group, you probably already did this with me in class. But green group, this is what you're missing. This is what we normally would be doing together on Wednesday. Let's check it out. We are still continuing with our study of the past tense, focusing on the passé composé versus the imparfait, how to use it, when to use it. So if we look at this paragraph, the first thing we'll notice is that it's in the present tense. Nous sommes le 1er juillet. C'est le premier jour des vacances. Il fait très beau. Je veux être à Nice. Notice all those verbs are conjugated in the present tense. Our job is to read through the paragraph, first identify the verbs, and then put them in the right form. And I'm recording this on Monday, but apparently the bells are still going. So don't you just feel like you're here at school? All right, so we're going to first identify the verbs. Which of these verbs do we recognize? Nous sommes. There's a verb. C'est le premier jour. Il fait très beau. Je veux être à Nice. Les trains sont en grève. Class, en grève means on strike. I think they give that to you. Oh yeah, off to the side right here. On strike. Oh, that happens a lot in Paris especially. Alors, je décide de faire du stop. Yes, they do use that word. J'attends 20 minutes. Finalement, une voiture me prend. C'est une Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo, vous connaissez? C'est une voiture très, très sportive. Le conducteur est un homme sympathique. Il doit avoir 30 ans. Il a une petite moustache. Il est très élégant. Class, I don't want to bore you with all this. Are you finding the verbs and is it making sense? Go forth and continue to identify the verbs. Because once you've found all the verbs in this paragraph, your next job is to go back and read a little bit for understanding and try to decide, should I use the passé composé or should I use the imparfait? So now let's talk about that. When you tell a story and you are setting the scene, what verb tense do you start with 9 times out of 10? Class, it's the imparfait. Because the imparfait talks about what was happening in the background as your story begins. When you talk about what day it was, the time, the weather, what you were doing, maybe even describing your surroundings, all of that is the imparfait. So we can reasonably assume that for the first part of this paragraph, we're going to want to use the imparfait. And in fact, if you look at the first example they give us, nous étions. Can you read that fancy French cursive? Nous étions le 1er juillet. My handwriting does not look anything like that. So, excuse-moi pour l'orthographe, etc. Okay? So it's saying it was the 1st of July, it was the first day of vacation, and the weather was nice. All 3 of those first verbs need to be in the imparfait because it's setting the scene. So we would change this one to c'était. And if you would please, as you're working through this, write the whole sentence. The more you read and write and understand in French, the more French sticks with you in your brain. Okay, so write the whole paragraph. C'était le 1er jour. I'm going to, just for the sake of shortening the video a little bit, I'm not going to write the whole thing, but you can take the time to do so at home. For this next one, we're going to say il faisait très beau. Faisait in the imparfait. Oui? And then for the next verb, let's take a look at that sentence. Je veux être à Nice. I was wanting to, I wanted to. I think that's still a description. That's still a state of being. What was on your mind? Wanting to get to Nice. So that one should also be the imparfait. Je voulais, A-I-S this time because it's je, être à Nice avant le soir. there's the warning bell. So Madame better start to wrap things up or we're going to get hit with that big bell one more time on our recording. Class, that's what you need to keep doing. Of course, when you get to things like I decided, I waited, a car picked me up, those are action words. So those are going to be the passé composé, right? J'ai décidé, j'ai attendu, une voiture m'a pris, m'a pris. You get the picture there? This is what we're working together in class on Tuesday for the blue group, Wednesday group. This is what you should be doing if you're not taking the SAT. Otherwise, work through this and work through the assignment that's posted. There's a separate assignment posted. You've got 2 things to do this week, green group, and I'll see you all on Friday. Thanks so much. Au revoir.